Hi fans of high quality entertainment. So this is my year-end wrap-up of music and 2 or 3 books that I've been reading recently. And so for new releases for 2024, as some of you know, I don't keep up with all the hippest music out there because a lot of it does not interest me. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, of course, I still don't have their latest CD, or that would most definitely be on my list. So I only have 2 albums from 2024 that are from 2024. And this one is came out earlier in the year, Asterisms by Sean Lennon. I still play it a lot. It's all instrumental. It's a combination of jazz, rock, prog, and Sean's guitar work. And it's actually, I just listened to this a few days ago for the first time in a while, and it's just very relaxing. And I highly recommend you check it out. I know Glenn Kellaway from The Basement, he did his recent top 9 albums of the year, and this was on the list. But my favorite album of the year, sorry Sean, is John Anderson and the Band Geeks' True, with one of the greatest album covers ever. Okay, maybe not. But yeah, this is, as some of you know, I don't follow the band Yes anymore, especially since John Anderson left. But I love their later albums like Magnification and Key Studio. And this album is just as good as those albums, which I think are underrated. So if you do love this album, please check out Magnification, Key Studio, The Ladder, and yeah, Yes is one of my all-time favorite bands. And by the way, I'm really starting to get back into Genesis. I might even do a Genesis versus Yes video to see which band you like more. I did it a few years back, and that got really good feedback and lots of views. And I think Yes is still my favorite over Genesis, but Genesis is creeping up there. And I won't ramble anymore. I'm going to save my favorite artist of the year for the end of this video. I just wanted to mention again, I recently got this Volume 2 by Luca Perezza, and it is excellent. I've just started to read it. Volume 1 was superb, so highly recommended. And I recently got Elliot Mintz' We All Shine On, John, Yoko, and Me, which I'm just about a quarter of the way through. Excellent. And this is my most recent purchase, Moon Unit Zappa, Earth to Moon, a memoir. And it's about her life being in the Zappa family. And there's an excellent interview with her on Pop Goes the 60s channel. So I highly recommend that. She called her mom and dad Gail and Frank. It's just the way they were all brought up. It's kind of a bit sad, but it's not all, it's not all negative. So it's a very good book. Where am I? Oh, I'm doing a video. Okay, yeah, I still listen to, just show you some bands, maybe not as much this year as last year because I'm kind of obsessed with like 2 or 3 other bands, but Procol Harum, all of their 60s, early 70s albums, and I still want to get more of them. I love Procol Harum. more than ever. Of course, Frank Zappa. Speaking of Frank Zappa, I still listen to Frank Zappa year after year after year. Love Frank Zappa. Yes, I listen to Sparks, but not as much as you might think, because I know their whole discography so well. I've heard it so many times, but still. I love Sparks, and looking forward to the new album in 2025. And this, people often ask me, which album should I, check out first? I highly recommend. This is a 3 CD set, but there's also a 2 CD set. Past Tense, The Best of Sparks. And it actually starts with Computer Girl, which was recorded, I believe, in 1967. I still listen to Lou Reed. Love Lou Reed. I still listen, like I said with Procol Harum, not as much this year as last year, but still, I love the Moody Blues. Believe it or not, I know some people are tired of this band, like Glenn Kellaway from The Basement, even though, he says they're the best band of all time. But he doesn't listen to them as much anymore. I still listen to the Beatles a lot because they're the greatest band ever. And like Procol Harum and the Moody Blues, I don't listen to this band as much as I did the previous year, but I still absolutely love their albums. The Kinks. Oh, and there's going to be a vinyl record or two that I'll show you. That's right, vinyl. Where am I? Yeah. So Yes, I still listen to a lot of Yes, of course. I hadn't heard this, Tales from Topographic Oceans, all the way through in probably over a year, and I just recently did, and I was seriously in tears at the end of the album. Not because it was over and I was happy, but because of the music. It really got to me. Okay. So Genesis. I actually listened to this. Well, this is one of my all-time favorite albums, Genesis Live. And I finally listened to this all the way through, Seconds Out. Like I said, I guess it's because of that the recent Phil Collins interview. It's a 2-hour documentary on his drumming, and his son is interviewing him, and it just made me realize what a great artist Phil Collins is. I wasn't a big fan of his solo career, but still, the guy is one of the greats, as is Genesis. I need a break for a second, I'm old. Okay, now we're back. Just a few left here. Yeah, a prog rock band that I think is underrated. I listened to them quite a bit this year and last year. Nectar. Remember the Future? Sounds like this. Journey to the Center of the Eye. Recycled. And I think my favorite, although at first it was one of my least favorite, but it just grew on me, Down to Earth. And yeah, I need to get more Nectar albums. So this band, I think earlier in the year I was pretty obsessed with them, but it kind of died off a bit. Not that I dislike them, it's just I have so many other albums I would rather listen to, but still, I do, especially this. This is my favorite. The Residents' Duck Stab, and then Demons Dance Alone, Not Available, Eskimo, commercial album, Meet the Residents, and this one. But, you know, I still do like them, and I need to play them soon again. All right. 1, 2. So before I get into my 3 favorite, or the 3 bands I've listened to the most this year, I wanted to show, not that I buy a lot of box sets, not recently, but this box set is highly recommended. It's the Rascals, and it's true. It's wonderful. All of their albums on Atlantic Records with bonus tracks. And just, you know, one of those classy box sets. Really nice booklet. And as I've said before, you know, they were one of those 60s bands that actually played on their albums. They didn't have studio musicians. Well, they had some studio musicians, but you know what I mean. And I wanted to also mention, I should do a video on it sometime, but when I bought this album in the late 60s, the Rascals' Once Upon a Dream, it didn't have a gatefold. Canada was ripped off. I never saw that until this box set. And there's other ones too. But like I said, I might do a video on that someday. So that's my favorite box set. Not that I bought a lot of box sets. And for vinyl, I still listen to this. It was gifted to me by the Lennon estate. It's not for everybody, but Mind Games, John Lennon, Meditation Mixes. Love it. I'm gonna get emotional. I'm sorry, but this vinyl record I've always wanted, but it's expensive to buy, and I finally got it this year. It's used, but it's in good shape. Mrs. Miller's Greatest Hits. Thank you. Downtown, it's been a hard day's night. She sings just like that. But it's a fun listen. It is. It's entertaining. So, number 2, which, I don't know, sometimes I almost think they're number 1 for being obsessed with for the year. The first time I heard this band was one of the CD exchanges that we were doing, probably maybe 2 years ago, and it was this album, Quebec. I was impressed with it right away, and I loved it. So I bought it. And then, soon after, I bought The Pod, which I hated. Yeah, I just hated it on the first listen. The second listen, I think I liked it. And on the third listen, around the third or fourth listen, I loved it. It's like certain bands like Ween, Can, Sparks. You just have to, and it's not for everybody, but for some of us that are really open to music, if you hear Ween's The Pod and you hate it, don't worry. On the second or third listen, you might hate it you might actually start to like it. I love The Pod. I also love pure guava, and I also love chocolate and cheese. And one of my very kind viewers, I'm not going to say too much about it until I get the parcel, is sending me 3 more Ween CDs. Thank you. All right, number 3, the third favorite artist for this year to listen to, a lot of music. Even though the Beatles, like I said, are the best. They always will be the best, and Sparks, of course. But for this year, I listened to a lot of the band Can. So I'm still missing just 1 or maybe 2 of their albums. Flow Motion, one of my favorites, Future Days, Saw Delight, Delay, their actual first album. It's very good. This one I can never pronounce. I don't want to, but it's really good. Soon Over Babaluma. Can the Singles, which is excellent. Self-titled Can. Soundtracks, which is really good. Possibly my favorite, Monster Movie. Although another one of my favorites is Tago Mago. And Can Landed. All right, number 1. Glenn Kellaway, if you're watching this, please turn off the video now. Thank you. This band I've really liked forever, and I've loved a lot of their songs, but I never really did a deep dive into their, most of their albums. I'm talking about the friggin' Beach Boys. Pet Sounds I've always really liked a lot, and just, I guess earlier in the year, it finally hit me. And I've read other people too that, think, oh, it's good or whatever, but there's just a time, they played enough that it finally hits them what an amazing recording this is. And so after that, I got, one of the CD exchanges, I had to listen to Friends. And once again, the first time I listened to it, it's a very short album too, it's like 25 minutes. The first time I heard it, I did not like it at all. I played it, because we were doing the CD exchange and you have to give feedback to what was given to you. I had to play it again, and I liked it. And then after that, I ended up loving the album. So this contains Friends and 2020. And then I just got a bunch of Beach Boys and Brian Wilson's solo albums throughout the years. I even got the deluxe version of his first solo album. That's Why God Made the Radio. One of my favorites, it might be my favorite Beach Boys album, The Beach Boys Love You, which once again, it took more than one listen to really warm up to. Brian Wilson reimagines Gershwin, really nice. Another one, some of these I have more than one copy of. And some of these were gifted to me, so thank you. Especially Nicholas Pearl, thank you. I just wasn't made for these times. Once again, a very short album, about 25 minutes, but really nice. Smiley Smile. The Beach Boys' Summer Days and Summer Nights in stereo and mono. The Beach Boys' Party and Stacco Tracks. Brian Wilson presents Smile. Feel Flows, which is Sunflower and Surf's Up. Well, Sunflower and Surf's Up are right at the top of my favorite Beach Boys albums. And then these are really good too. Carl and the Passions and Holland, with a lot of bonus material. There's Sunflower again and Surf's Up, an earlier pressing of it. One of the greatest, Still Cruising. Still Cruising. The Beach Boys' Smile, of course, the Smile Sessions. This one I got for like $4 at a used CD store, and it's kind of expensive to get now. I don't know why. Probably one of the worst albums ever. And the Beach Boys' Sunshine Tomorrow, which is Wild Honey and Smiley Smile Sessions. Got this pretty recently, That Lucky Old Sun, Brian Wilson. Very nice album. Another one of the Beach Boys' Party in stereo and mono. The Beach Boys Today and Summer Days and Summer Nights. The Beach Boys Today again in stereo and mono. The Beach Boys Surfin' Safari in mono and stereo. So I still, need to get a few more Beach Boys, but that's not bad. I bought all of those this year. And one more, which is, I was so impressed with this. It's a really good live album. It's Brian Wilson live at the Roxy Theatre. Highly recommended. And what a great band. There's track listing if you want to pause it. I think that's it. While I'm doing this, I'm not trying to make you feel sorry for me. I already feel sorry for myself enough, but I'm just in so much pain here. Another year where nothing's really, with the medical, having MRIs and everything, and nothing is ever done about my pain. It's, pretty frustrating, and but I will say music means more to me than ever. And doing YouTube and my Patreon, I really, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy it, even when I'm in pain. But it keeps me active, and like I've said, this was probably my worst year, and I won't say anything more. But thank you all for all of the comments throughout the year. Please remember I have 2 YouTube channels, Canadian Studmuffin and Larry Graves Canadian Studmuffin. So please make sure you're subscribed to both channels. And that is it. I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But don't worry, there's still more videos before the year is up.